Having just annihilated the Ambrones, Marius' troops were exhausted, and it was way too late in the day to finish up the fort. Expecting an immediate counterattack, Marius sends out a detachment to take up position right outside of the enemy Teutones camp and make as much noise as possible. This noise prevents the Germans from sleeping that night, and as a result, they sleep throughout the next day, giving the Romans time to finish off their fort. Marius, however, fully expects a counterattack in the next couple of days. However, no attack comes, much to Marius' relief. With the added time, Marius began scouting for the perfect battleground, which would enable him to make the most out of his legionaries. Marius eventually finds a slightly elevated position, flanked by a few forests, just a short while away from where they are currently encamped. Marching his men out of the camp, Marius positions his troops in the advantageous high ground. Whilst he still had time, Marius also orders 3,000 troops to march off into the distance and hide, out of sight of the Germans until a signal was given. However, knowing that the Teutones still outnumber him, Marius orders the camp followers and beasts of burden to also march out with him, kicking up more dust and making Marius' army seem even larger than it actually is. Seeing the plumes of dust in the air, the Teutones and remaining Ambrones march out to face the Romans. However, wary of the apparent size of the Roman force, the Germans decide to hold back some of their men in reserve. This worked perfectly for Marius, as now each wave of Germans was the same size as Marius' legionaries. The first wave of Germans charged up the hill. The Romans, as before, threw their javelins, pinning the German shields together and causing them to discard them. Within a matter of hours, the Romans had gained the upper hand on the first wave and had actually began to push the Germans slowly down the hill. Just as the first wave was beginning to flounder, the Germans sent in their second and last wave. As soon as the second wave was engaged with the Romans, the signal was given to the 3,000 hidden Roman troops to attack the rear of the German lines. Emerging from seemingly nowhere, the Romans slammed into the rear of the Germans. This broke up the uniformity and discipline within the German ranks as confusion set into the Germanic horde. Within a matter of hours, the Germans had broke ranks and had began to flee the battle. As with all big battles, this was when the majority of the casualties was sustained by the losing side. The Romans systematically slaughtered the retreating Germans and even breached into their camp. It was there that the Romans discovered, much to their surprise, just how fierce the German women were. Charging out of their tents, wielding swords and making a terrible screeching noise, the Germanic women temporarily stunned the Roman legionaries. However, within no time at all, the Romans had slain or captured a large number of the German camp followers. Only 3,000 of the Germanic horde managed to escape the camp, along with the Teutonic king, Teutobod. However, fleeing the battle, they stumbled into the territory of a Roman ally who soon captured them and handed them over to Marius as captives. In total, around 200,000 Germans had either been slain or captured. 17,000 survivors were captured and initially planned to be sold into slavery. Upon learning of this, the women begged to be made vestal virgins and not slaves. When this was denied, they committed mass suicide, preferring to die free rather than enslaved. Marius had won his first real decisive victory against the Germans. The Teutones and Ambrones were now officially wiped off the map, and Rome could breathe a sigh of relief. However, the larger horde, the Cimbri, were still out there, and they were about to cross the Alpine passes and invade Italy itself. Thanks for watching and listening to our video. If you like the channel, consider subscribing to Ancient History Guy. Or, if you really like the channel, head on over to our Patreon feed. There, for as little as $1 a month, you can gain access to exclusive documentaries, behind-the-scenes footage, and videos before they're live on YouTube. All sources are listed and linked in the description below. Be sure to like, comment and subscribe,
I've been the Ancient History Guy, and as always, I'll be seeing you later.